know me.
I got you.
You act like I'm running around here with my gun toting or weed smoking. Son, I'm the one that hired you. I'm bringing you on. Are you crazy? Yes, absolutely. On your camera, I put you on.
Yep, that's Paulsboro, New Jersey Councilman Theodore Holloway, who wasn't the happiest about being pulled over.
You got the registration insurance on you, man?
Jesus. Oh, you made my whole
Why you acting like this, man? It's
Yo,
on your
because
car.
I'm trying to go home, bro.
I got you.
So this meltdown was all over a traffic stop from January 4th. The officer spotted the councilman allegedly running a stop sign through a neighborhood. So he pulled him over.
You can't be serious.
Oh, man, what's going on? Why you acting this way?
You can't be serious. And what did you pull me for?
Why you acting that?
I want to know, what exactly are you getting behind me
for? Stop sign.
Seems pretty innocent at the beginning. The councilman and the officer appeared to know one another, but then the stop took a turn.
Stop sign.
I did stop, as much as I can stop.
You didn't stop at all. You rolled through that joint.
Are you serious, cuz?
I am serious.
Do whatever you got to do. What do you need?
I got you. Just let me see your license, man.
God, Jesus Christ. What do you...
What's that got to do with anything?
It's got a lot to do with it. Bro, I'm going home. You know me.
I got you.
You act like I'm running around here with my gun toting or weed smoking. Son, I'm the one that hired you. I'm bringing you on. Are you crazy? Yes, absolutely. On your camera, I put you on. Come on, man.
You got the registration insurance on you, man?
Jesus Christmas. Oh, you made my whole
Why you acting like this, man? It's on your car.
I'm trying to go home, bro.
I got you. I
live right there, bro. Like you actually pulling over an elected official. Bro, you're not pulling over a random. You're pulling over your boss. I am literally your boss. Like, this is crazy. Crazy, cuz. I can't believe it either. One thing we sure do for certain, don't put in for no what's the name? Where's my ass, man? Oh my God. Right, let me look through all this shit, bro. Oh my like, come on, man. Let's cut that shit out. Like, we got out here doing all kinds of
crazy. You're right.
And you pulled me over for an alleged not stopping a stop sign. For an alleged.
I'm sitting at the stop sign.
For an alleged, Marquise. It's an alleged, bro. It's an alleged.
How's it alleged?
Because I stopped. You see my tail lights?
You didn't stop.
All right.
You gotta go to a complete stop. Also, you rolled through it. You didn't stop.
Oh my God. Oh, where's my? I got 150 pieces of paperwork. Hold on, man.
You good. Sit tight for me.
While the councilman continues scrummaging through the papers in his car, the officer who pulled him over heads back to his car to run his plates. But given Theodore's antics when he was stopped, the officer dialed that in too.
Yeah, the councilman's tantrum that day was something, but I want to give a huge thanks to our sponsors like Upside. Upside is a free app that gets you cash back on daily essentials like gas, groceries, and restaurants. Sometimes I only have time for a quick lunch break, but then there are times I can have a nice sit down at a restaurant, and guess what? I can use Upside for both. Plus, I can use Upside to get cash back when I do. It's really so easy and simple to use and completely free, so why not? This is actual real cash back too. It's money that appears in your Upside app that you can transfer straight into your bank account. So here's what you do. You download the Upside app, claim an offer for whatever you're buying on Upside, you pay as usual using a debit or a credit card, and follow the steps on the app and get paid. You can use Upside at places like Chipotle, 7-Eleven, Taco Bell, and so many other places. So why not check it out and see if your favorite spot is on the app? To find out how much you could earn, click the link in the description to download Upside, or scan the QR code on your screen, use our promo code BODYCAM, and get an extra 25 cents back on every gallon on your first tank of gas. Again, that's promo code BODYCAM for an extra 25 cents back on your first gallon of gas.
Registration expired since July of last year. You, hey, I got Holloway. Roll right through the stop sign. Is that you coming up? Yeah, he's freaking out. I don't know what's going on with him. It's funny. Literally, he rolls through it. I turn my lights on right here. He's freaking out. Why are you pulling me over? He starts yelling at the out the window. Pull him over right here. I said, "Don't pull over." He gets out. Obviously, he's not happy. He's upset. I'm an election official. I hired you. Keely's gonna hear about this. This is a alleged offense. I didn't roll. Stuff like that. His registration's expired for July of last year. July. So I was gonna release issue for that and come up break on the stop sign. But you can see how he's upset. Yeah.
So the other officer tries to speak with him. But it seems like the elected official still pulled rank on the officers by calling their boss directly.
No,
sir.
Yeah, what's going on with you, man? I'm talking to the chief right now. This guy is crazy.
What's going on?
You know who I am, right?
What's that?
You do not know who I am either?
I know you are, sir.
Oh, all right.
There you go.
Exactly. Anyway, Chief, please talk with them. Tell them that when you get behind elected officials, tell them, oh, my bad. Hey, you should stop at the stop sign. See you go about your business. Not here, dude. I need your license, registration, insurance. What? You treat me like I'm some mother. I'm not.
There's no way how they would handle a normal thing because if somebody gets a hold of them, then they should recommend to treat it to you because you're a professional. I'll still have a conversation with them.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Alright, if anything happens, let me know.
Yeah, I would. See.
Alright, man.
Crazy. Come on, man.
Sorry for a stop sign.
Now you come to these house. I did one of these. I'm like, bro, my house right there, bro. Like, I'm not going down. Like, if I was like this on a cell phone, smoking weed out the car, absolutely pull me over. Absolutely pull me over, take me out the car, and get me. But, bro, stop. If anything, you say, Councilman Holloway, just stop at the stop signs. See ya. Go about your business. Now you're wasting your time. You're wasting the taxpaying money that I pay you guys to do. For what? What you get? Nothing.
And in the end, he still got off easy.
All right, listen, man. You received just one citation, all right? I cut you a break on a stop sign where your registration's expired since July of last year, all right? There's nothing I can do with that, all right? So it's just one citation. It's not court mandatory. But if you'd like to show up in court and plead not guilty, I circle the court number on the top right for you. Provide them more information. They'll give you a court date to show up in court. Otherwise, drive safe.
While Councilman Holloway hasn't publicly responded to the incident, the mayor did, saying the council members' words weren't accurate or professional. He said, quote, "We don't get special treatment. We are not individual bosses for departments, and we don't get special treatment." The mayor also praised the officer who handled the stop by saying he had the utmost professionalism. So much going on in this body cam. Let's bring on retired NYPD detective and co-host, of the Gold Shield show. That's Tom Smith. Tom, always great to see you. What are your thoughts on Councilman Theodore Holloway being pulled over, but more importantly, his reaction to being pulled over?
Well, you know what, Elizabeth, this is why for years I advocated and was a proponent of body cams on cops. And this is a perfect reason why, because it takes away the he said thing, and it's all there. You know, stories get distorted when they're not on video. No, I didn't do that. I didn't say that, where now it's all out there. And, you know, cops have a job to do, whether it's stopping someone at a stop sign or speeding or a crime in progress. They have a job to do. And the attitude of the councilman degrading what he was doing, you know, was the first thing that jumped out of, well, why are you just doing that? There's people, you know, committing crimes and all that. That's not the point. The point is he's doing his job. And, you know, you want respect, you have to give respect. That would have been a 5-second car stop if he just showed the respect that's needed and necessary towards a police officer the same way he wants respect.
Yeah, and it was interesting too because it seemed like, at first when I was watching it, I was like, "Oh, they're friendly. They know each other. They seem cool." And then it kind of took a little bit of a turn and then, the curse words went flying, phone calls were made, and it just kind of, the reports were saying that, they're alleging that, the councilman was a little entitled in his response and all of that stuff. My question to you is, what is it like for officers to pull over elected officials or even people that they just know, on a day-to-day basis?
Well, on car stops, like in the NYPD, you always had your discretion of, issuing a summons or a warn and admonish or whatever the term might be for that particular department. So you always have that discretion. But when it kicks off in a disrespectful way, like I said, if it was, "Hey, officer, I'm sorry, what did I do? Hey, you kind of rolled through the sign, councilman," but that would have taken probably 5 seconds. And he would have told him to have a great day, take care, be safe, and I'll see you soon, type of reaction. But when you get confronted and degraded about what you're doing when you're just doing your job, now he's going to, do his job and issue a summons and then runs his plate and it comes up expired for a number of months, not a week, a number of months that his car is expired and the registration's expired. So the entitlement is a perfect word that you used. These are the same people, elected officials, who will be the first one to throw a stone at a police officer when something goes wrong on the street. Whereas you're in a perfect situation to show that respect and you don't do it.
And do you think, that in a way he was trying to kind of intimidate the officer by kind of pulling rank, being like, "You know what, I am your boss," that moment where he looked inside that body cam and said, I wanted this, that type of thing. What do you kind of make of just his interaction as far as, do you think that he was trying to intimidate him, that this would all just go away? He'd be at home in 5 seconds, and this would all just be over.
100%. That was his tactic. That was his plan. And I thought the police officer handled himself great. He kept a low tone. He didn't raise his voice. And he actually addressed him saying, "What's the problem? Like, why are you acting like this?" Kind of putting it back on him of, "I understand you're upset. No one likes being pulled over. I got that. No one does. But they're doing their job." And I thought the police officer did two things perfectly. He kept a level tone. He kept calm, and then he called the supervisor, which is what supervisors get paid for. And I think that was a great thing because now you just shifted to the boss to get another person on the scene to understand what's going on. Hey, I'm not making this up. You talk to him. And I think that goes a long way with him because now you have the backing of your supervisor. You kind of put the situation on a different level of, you may be a councilman, but I'm a uniformed police officer and this is my car stop, back on him. And it ended okay, in the end. But I think a good lesson is there for elected officials or people, maybe a prominence who, if you handle yourself the right way, it's going to be really quick.
Yeah, exactly. And we've seen plenty of body cams here at Law&Crime of, elected officials, of people in power kind of having these meltdowns at traffic stops or even, in some cases like DUI arrests and all of that sort. And then on the flip side, obviously there are, reasons, or I should say kind of a history of possibly maybe why he might have had that meltdown. But, we also don't know if he actually blew through that stop sign. There's not video of him. We see that video right as the start as he's already been pulled over. But my question to you is, what type of discretion are officers given for these types of traffic stops, especially in neighborhoods? The councilman said he was just a few feet from his home. This wasn't in a busy area by what we saw through that video, or in a packed city street or anything like that. But as far as discretion involved on, what, I am going to make this stop, I am going to pull over this person, what type of discretion is there for officers?
Yeah, it depends on that jurisdiction, that police department. But for us, like I said, the NYPD, you always had your car stop was your decision. You could issue a summons, you could issue a warning, you could have a verbal just conversation of what they did wrong and how not to do it again, things of that nature. But we were always taught, the car stop is your call. And like I said, you go up, you notice who it is. Okay, I guarantee you that officer at first thought, all right, let me just say one or two things and he'll be out of here. But then you get, the verbal attack And it changes the dynamic because you can't let that official get away with that. Because what's going to happen on the next car stop to the next police officer? He's going to do the same thing because, well, I got away with it one time, so I'll do it again. And that's the problem. Once you walk away from that car stop of letting him act like that and get away with, whether and you're right, whether you blew through the stop sign or not, but when you let elected officials or whoever get the upper hand and dictate what that officer is going to do, it puts the next police officer in a bad situation because they're going to do it again because they got away with it one other time.
Yeah. And as you mentioned before, in the end, the officer ended up actually cutting him a break on allegedly running through that stop sign and only gave him the citation for that expired registration. But are you surprised that they did end up just kind of cutting him a break? It felt like watching it that they just didn't want to really deal with him anymore.
Yeah, I think it was, the expirated registration is a little bit more heavy than rolling through a stop sign. So that's the one he was going to get. And that was one of those, if you're going to issue a summons, you have to in that situation of an expired registration. So I think he made the right call with that. You give him the one, and it's kind of halves. You got away with half of it, but not the whole thing.
And I'm sure, all the news articles and us doing this story even probably is adding maybe a teensy bit of embarrassment a little bit there for the councilman, but we don't know that. Maybe he's just kind of rolling with it and everything like that. Well, Tom Smith, I want to thank you so much for your insight into this body cam. I really appreciate it. Before we sign you off, though, anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, just, what? Be respectful. The way you want to be treated is the way you should treat a police officer at a scene. A lot of car stops like that can be dealt with and resolved within less than a minute. If both sides are respectful, you understand what's going on, and you just deal with it. If you made a mistake and you're issued a summons, you deal with it. You made the mistake. If not, that's what courts are for. If you feel like you were in the right, go to court and argue. Don't argue or fight with the police officer on the side of the road because that puts both of you in danger, wherever you may be. And it's easily resolved when it comes to car stops.
All right. Again, Tom Smith, thank you so much for your insight. I always appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me as always.
Again, Councilman Theodore Holloway was only cited for having an expired registration. And at this time of the recording, Law&Crime did reach out to Councilman Holloway, but we haven't heard back. But the mayor said discussions were held with him about his behavior. Reporting for Law&Crime,